Hey, hello everyone and welcome to Extreme Graphics Tech. My name is Angelo and today I want to talk about the GTA 6 trailer that was released yesterday. It was supposed to be released today, but somebody leaked the trailer yesterday and Rockstar decided to launch it earlier. So there is a lot to see. I watched this trailer yesterday and I had to say I'm quite impressed with what I saw in terms of graphics. Okay, I'm not a very hardcore Grand Theft Auto player, so I won't be making like comments about the connections or reference to other games. This is going to be just a pure graphical analysis from my point of view. Okay, so I hope you enjoy and being a short trailer. We have some times to check everything, but I hope this video doesn't end being very long. So let's start, guys, and see all that this trailer will tell us. So the first thing I have to say about this game, and the first image, is that I love the lightning. In general, we are going to be talking about that a lot because the lightning is amazing in this game. I don't know how they are doing it. Obviously, this is an evolution of Red Dead Redemption 2 engine, and the engine they've been using for a while, but this one looks so phenomenal. The lightning is so good. So here you can see what I mean. It's not just about the color, but how it affects everything around it, so that makes the game much more immersive. So I'm going to say something that this is the English version of the video. I already did my Spanish one, so I have already seen some things on that that I can discuss with you. To begin with, I am quite convinced that this game is using some form of ray trace reflections, and the reason I say that is because to begin with, if you see on this area, you're going to see that it's sort of grainy. Yes, that could be because of the water, but I also believe because of this and how everything lines up perfectly that there is some sort of ray tracing reflection going on, which will help a lot, because I think reflection is one of the best effects that you can put on games in terms of ray tracing after global illumination, just because it will change the appearance and make it more realistic, not just to water and that sort of things, but many materials. So that's one thing. And as you can see here, you can see the reflections of the lights from the cars even from far away, which normally screen space reflection doesn't do very well. So that's another reason I believe they're using some form of ray tracing reflections here, but I could be wrong. This is one thing that I loved, is how the water interacts with the elements, and you can see how it deforms and it creates foam and everything. That's just superb.
You see it.
Now here, I may be wrong. Okay, I don't want to maybe say something wrong, but this is a very good thing. There is two things that we can get from this image here. To begin with is the character models. I think the Rockstar and Naughty Dog with The Last of Us Part 2 are top studios when it comes to creating believable characters. They are, for me, the best in the business. And there is also Horizon Forbidden West, which is quite good, but to me, it's not at the level of like Red Dead Redemption 2 or The Last of Us Part 2. And other games that are quite good is like Hellblade, but we still have to, check more. Or maybe the collision with Gears of War, but because they are a little bit more exaggerating in the characters. So I think Rockstar and Naughty Dog are the top studios. So you can see here that how good the character looks, how good the character light is being hit by. It looks superb. But especially what I wanted to comment or mention here, and I believe I may be wrong, but the fact that you see there is some red on the wall is because if the reflection of the light bouncing from the character's clothes. So I believe what is happening here is that the light is bouncing somewhere. So I don't know if they're using some sort of ray trace, a global illumination system too, or shadows, because shadows are also very sharp, and we're going to see that a little bit later. Or there is some sort of solution they have come with that is less expensive. But so far it looks quite good, because you can see here how this is getting some red hue here, and also the door, and I believe it's because of the reflection from the light from the window.
Do you know why you're here?
So here is more of what I was saying before about the lightning and the character model, you look how beautiful this character is, how the hair, it looks like natural and not like one of those 2D images. But also it's quite interesting, you see how every little thing is casting shadow here. Look at this, how even this little thing in here is casting shadow, something that is not normally done when it comes to those little things, and it's normally used or is normally done by ray tracing. I don't know if this is the case here. They may come up with a new solution or something, or are very keen to detail, but that's something quite interesting.
Bad luck, I guess.
To see. Look at what I was saying about how the water interacts and the forms and create foam with all the elements that you can see here. And in this shot, you can see how shadow will go up the way to like very far. You can see here, you can see these characters here having shadows. Every little detail is having shadows. You can see also here in the window like what it seems to be like reflections from them. Okay, so that's another quite good. I think it's quite possible that they have using reflection. If Spider-Man is able to, then they will be, and especially because this trailer is at 30 FPS. So that means that they could be using reflections no problem, and the game could be at 30 FPS using all the graphical prowess that they can and showing it the best in this case. So this is clearly, you know, the game at the best. At least this is more of what I was saying about, you know, reflections and shadow and all. The light in this game, I'm going to repeat myself a lot about this because the light in this game is so beautiful. You can see here. Sorry for that. You can see here how beautiful this looks, but also, you know, the spray of water on the back, and you can see that it's affected by the light and also shadowing, which is quite nice to see those particles being affected here as you can see the lights. And this is a very short image, but I love it because here is one of those things where light doesn't seem that amazing, but it seems realistic. It seems like it's really striking. It's not artistic in nature, but it's more realistic in the way it's approached in this a particular scene. So you can see here what I was saying before. You can see all the reflections here from this caiman crocodile, and here you can see how the reflections are not broken like it normally happens in SSR. And you can see that this character here, you know, you can see the reflection even through this other one, especially this one. You see here how it keeps the reflection instead of breaking like will normally happen when something occludes the image. So that's why I believe this is ray tracing reflection happening here. This is another part that I have to say. Look, this is, you can see the models. You can see, well, she looks quite good, I have to say. But you can see here all the models and all the, you know, how rich and how well done they are, even though they are just NPCs. But they are so good. And the lightning, once again, is so believable, so great to look at. But the shadows are very sharp on every little detail. You can see the hands here, even the can, the headphones, this little I can't go too low, but this little solar protector having shadows under it, and you can see even the terrain is actually 3D deformed, because if you see the shadows of the character, and when I play it, you're going to see how the shadow deforms accordingly to the terrain. So that's really great. Now here are more talking about the deformation. This is more of, you know, the beautiful light that this game has that make it look so amazing. Honestly, this is incredible things. There is a lot of detail and things to get here. You can see that the texturing is fantastic. It's delicious. You can see, you know, the little, you know, there is trash, there is mark, it's a dirty place. You can feel it, you know, it's like not taken care of, but it's also very colorful at the same time, so it's quite nice. And you can see here reflections that once again are coming from areas that normally shouldn't show if it wasn't because of the rain. This area, well, this area in particular is also very nice in terms of lighting. These lights here illuminates this part over here, and you can see here more of what I was saying about the reflection. This is reflecting this lady here, and you can see how the hues of light affect different part of the bodies. You can see how the stage is illuminating the legs, but also down here the pink is illuminating not just her, but you can see also here how is everything illuminated by this pink hue in on the floor. more of the character modeling. You can see everything is completely modeled. The hair on this character looks amazing, and the, you know, everything that he has on top. Look at this scene, it's so beautiful, so rich, so real. Even though the game is not going for like a realistic look, it's more like a 3D render sort of movie look, it's still, you know, managed to get that realistic look when it comes to like scenery. And it looks really beautiful in this shot. It's particularly nice, all the lights coming up. One thing I noticed, however, is that as beautiful as this looks, and you know how every single car in here, look, even at the background, they are, you know, illuminating the headlights of the cars are illuminating. At least in this video, I couldn't find anything pointing that they cast shadows, so those lights don't seem to cast shadows in this version. And here, well, this area is also absolutely delicious. Look, I'm going to show you something quickly here, because this is what, look at here what I mean. This car is reflecting this guy over here, so that is, and it's kind of grainy, noisy reflection. So that's why after analyzing the trailer, I honestly believe it's using ray tracing reflection. I may be wrong, but that's what I believe. However, you can see here how beautiful this shot is, the depth of field, the bokeh, and the lights on the background. It's really an amazing and beautiful shot. Rockstar is at the top of their game. More of the lightning. This is another beautiful shot. I love the lightning because it's so realistic, it's so natural, and you can see here how these boats have shadows under them, but they are a little bit displaced by the water, so it looks more real. It doesn't look like that shadow is connected directly to the ship, because there is some depth between the water and the ship, and there is that distance. Then you can see how each one of these you know, little, even the far away, seems to be casting shadow or having shadows with them. You can see here, I think this shadow is generated by a cloud on top, which also looks so beautiful in here. So you can see this is really a beautiful shot, a beautiful. Obviously this is a nice shot. We have a very beautiful lady here, but it's just everything else. It's just how the lights play with everything. There is one thing, however, that I notice here, and this reflection seems to be a little bit off from what I would say is a ray trace reflection. So I don't know if they always use ray trace for every area or not, or there are, you know, some areas that have no ray trace reflections. Because if you see here, you can see that the reflections of the glasses, which I am not sure if they should be reflected or not, if that's you know. I love these shots that looks like they were filmed on a phone or something. Here, and this is what I was saying, more of the ray trace reflections that I believe is being used, because they are not occluded and they're very realistic, and this shot looks very good. And here is where, from my point of view, that's where I know that this game, or the headlight, doesn't seem to be casting shadows. If you see here, look at these characters. These characters have here this car and here this car, and they are all pointing and stuff, but they don't seem to be creating shadows. Of course, there is other cars here which could be, you know, shorten that, but you can see more here. You can see this car here, and with that, because this here is skid marks, right? And they are not being cast. There is no shadows being cast from here, and these two cars here doing loops are not creating any shadows to this car in the middle. So that's why I think the headlights you know, illuminate but don't cast shadow. Obviously there is 2 years still for this game to come, even though it says 2025. We're going to talk about that. So it's just extremely beautiful. It's really something, you know. A nice guy here. You see, it's just so beautiful and realistic. The lightning, the way they play, just this shot is particularly realistic because of the way, you know, the aberration, the chromatic aberration, the colors. It seems like really it's being captured by a camera.
Back. Always.
The modeling.
We're gonna get through
So exquisite.
is by sticking together, being a team.
Here, the details in this store, in just that little tiny bit of time that you can see, is quite exquisite when you see all the label detail, the bottles, how different, how much work must have come into this, because Rockstar said they wanted this game to be more immersive in terms of you being able to enter more buildings, and they seem they're going for it because there is a lot of geometric density, lots of texture, and this game is going to be brutally huge. Look at how great it looks, and imagine the mods and everything that people are going to create. Just insane.
Trust?
Look what I say about the modeling. Look how great they are. Look at the texture in this picture here. Even that picture that is there's the texture of the canvas. It's just detailed to the minimum. It's amazing. It's really good. This is funny what it says here. I was looking, and this is the things that make it's just all those little details, all those things that made this world so believable. Look, we will no longer accept cash stored in underwear. I suppose this, is a place where a lot of people come in their underwear just because they are, I guess, next to some river or some beach or something. But it's so fun to have all these things, all those little details. It's so much density that they are packing here and putting. It's unbelievable, honestly. This is why it takes so long to create this game. But when, you can see Grand Theft Auto coming 2025. And the reason I say it's 2 years, even though I say 2025, because we are at the end of 2023, and I think this game is coming at the end of 2025. I hope to be wrong, and maybe it's at the beginning of the 2025, but I believe it's going to be by the end. But I may be wrong, but anyway, I prefer to think it's 2 years before we can see this game coming. So yeah, that's like a quick graphical analysis of the thing I saw. I think this game is looking amazing. I hope there is no downgrade. There is no mention of PC apparently so far. They released their PC versions like a year later, but hopefully this means if that happens that we are going to have a much better graphical version than the console version. And obviously they do it because they know people are going to double dip. They're going to buy on console, and then 1 year later they're going to buy again on PC, and that's why they do it. I have no doubt about that. But well, it is what it is. But that means it's 3 years away from PC, so that's going to be a very, very long way. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this video, and as always, if you like, subscribe, hit the bell, share it, and do all those things that will help me keep creating this sort of contents. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.